It is so rigid. Plus there's no glue or adhesive, and I didn't buy any parts. It was really inexpensive and relatively easy to do. All right, so I've got an MSI GE76 Raider, and my screen is broken and it went downhill really fast. I mean, it was just, this was bowing out and then it broke almost the same day, next day. So I started fixing one side and it went so well, or was going so easily. I looked up some videos to do it. Everything looked like a pain in the butt. So this went well, so I was going to share it. So the first thing I did was I peeled off this beauty sticker here. I actually used the heat gun to heat it up and make it a little easier to deal with. You can see these hinges are broken. I've pulled the screws out of that side. I have not pulled the screws out of this side yet. Let's go ahead and do that. And what's happened here is it's just a bad design. The little lever here is attached to just plastic. These things are screwed into a thing that's barely attached to this back of the screen. And the back plate of the screen is actually metal, which is a good thing. But the hinge, which has all the weight on it, is attached to plastic that's not very well attached to the metal. So we'll pull all these screws out, the ones that'll come out. Okay, this is just destroyed in there. And I've pulled the screws out on this side. This little piece will come out of here. There was two other little pieces that came out as well, which were here and here that I popped off. And you can see the broken plastic piece. We're going to need this. We're also going to need to remove some brass threads here. Pull these things off. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It was like, thought it was fine, and then the thing completely collapsed. So the trick to this is, instead of replacing the back of the screen, which would require me to order something, but I can't be out of my laptop for that long, we are going to firmly attach this piece to there, and we're going to use a really cool method. What I've got is 440 tap, and I've mounted it into this drill chuck because I don't have the original tapping bit, but anything you can use to hold this 440 tap. And what we'll do is we'll just tap these holes here and remove the little beauty plate on the back side, and we'll just screw right through the back of the metal plate into this bit here. You want to be careful. You're not going to want to break and there'll be little metal filings there, but we can vacuum those out. I'm going to get a little oil. These are 440 by 1/4 inch flathead Phillips. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I want to put this piece of plastic back in, because this is a spacer. But in order to put this plastic back in, I need to get these little brass threaded parts out. So we'll take those out. And to do that, we'll heat up the soldering iron, and they should just push right out. Boom. And boom. Okay, so now we've got this piece here. Now this is an important spacer, so when we put the screws in, we won't put everything in the wrong spot. So I'll put that there. So the next thing I want to do is I want to take this little spacer, I want to put that right there, because we're going to need that in place. And it's going to get sandwiched between the hinge here and the back plate of the screen. Also, these screws are just a little too small, so I'm going to need to put a washer on there, something that doesn't stick out too far. And let's go ahead and give this a shot and see what happens. So bring this up to the pit there. All right, and boom, look at that. Super stable with just the one screw. It's a million times better. Let's get another one. And, okay, let's go ahead and put that in. Okay, so there you have it. The screws are tapped into the hinge, and this thing is rock solid. There's no, it's stronger than it was before, I'm sure, because instead of going into plastic, we're going and sandwiching the metal housing of the screen itself. Cool. And let's put this down, and we'll put on the two little wings. So to get these on, I would hack away some of that there. Okay, I think that's probably good enough if we can just stick it on there. Okay, this is 3M VHB tape. All right, so it's all done, and this is as strong as it's ever been. It's stronger than it was new. The VHB tape is a little thick, so it's pushed these off. They don't sit quite flush. Oh, I could have probably hacked some more of that plastic away, but it wasn't important to me. It's flush here, and it is so rigid. Plus, there's no glue or adhesive, and I didn't buy any parts. It was really inexpensive and relatively easy to do, bolted stronger than new. All right, there's a bunch of these that use the same hinges that break, and you can find them on eBay at a discount with the broken hinges. And if that's your jam, then you can fix them and have a cool, solid laptop fairly easily. So, kind of cool. Hope this helps.